What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my Fanduel MMA picks for UFC Fight Night 171, Glover Teixeira versus Anthony Smith. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We have MMA on Wednesday, May 13th in Jacksonville, Florida. If you guys are new to MMA DFS as a whole, or if you guys have been playing on DraftKings, I think you might want to try out some Fanduel. They had a lot of overlay in their contest for UFC 249, so there could be an advantage there. Like, there is one contest where it wasn't even halfway full, so think they're going to make the contest probably a little bit smaller than last week, but I do think there could be some overlay, still this week, so check that out. And also, it is pretty fun. I like the format a lot. I like the MVP format. I wish DraftKings would, maybe do something like that along with what they're doing right now. I think that'd be pretty fun to put an MVP in there, so I do like that for that reason. And yeah, let's just go over the scoring for the MVP here. Not going to go into it too much, but they did add last slate the takedowns defended for 4.5 points and the submission attempts for 7.5 points. First round finish 150. You want to target those finishes. Same with non-MVP here. You want to target those finishes. And in this card, there is not going to be many finishes here. There's like 4 fights that are like that are better than minus 100 to to end inside the distance. So we'll go over those real soon. And those are the fights I'm going to be targeting the heaviest. So fight does not go to decision lines here. We got Sherman versus Villanueva, minus 290. Fight does not go to decision. I think this fight is going to end inside the first or second round, so going to target both these guys pretty heavily with the lean on Sherman. Sherman's going to be the bigger guy. Get into that in a little bit, but Villanueva is probably going to be the smaller guy, faster guy, but Sherman's the more chinny guy. Just, someone's getting knocked out in this fight, so you got to play both sides here. Smith Teixeira, minus 280. Fight does not go to decision. Same thing. I think it's going to end either early with Teixeira, maybe submission or knockout, which I don't really see happening, but it definitely could happen, or a Smith late finish, which is what I'm predicting. And then Rothwell, St. Preux, minus 215. Fight does not go to decision. I actually do think this might be able to go to decision. If it does, I favor St. Preux, but if it ends inside the distance, I do favor Rothwell. Just don't see St. Preux knocking out Rothwell or submitting him. Arlovsky, Lins, minus 170. Fight does not go to decision. I like Lins quite a bit. I'll get into it in a little bit, but Arlovsky, has a chance. It's heavyweight, but Arlovsky hasn't had a knockout win since like 2015. He's been more of a decision guy lately, or losing a decision. All right, MVP, Anthony Smith, $19. I like him quite a bit. I think he can, rack up some volume throughout the fight. It's 5 rounds. I think he can get the finish later in the rounds. I think he can stuff some takedowns, score points there. I don't know if he's going to do any submission attempts, maybe throw something up off his back. But I do think he will defend some takedowns, rack up the volume that way, some volume on the feet, and then just knock out Glover Teixeira later in the fight. So I do like him at $19. Philippe Lins, $16. I like him here quite a bit. I think he can come out here and get off Arlovsky out there early. Arlovsky's 41 years old. He's at the end of his career. Philippe Lins is up and coming. He's hungry. I hope he gets that knockout in the first round, but he can definitely put it on Arlovsky for a decision win as well. I've seen him go 5 rounds. He has good cardio for a heavyweight. He looks very good, very fast. So I do like Philippe Lins quite a bit. I just think Arlovsky's done at this point. 41 years old. He's lost 8 of his last 10 fights, something like that. And I just, I like Lins quite a bit here. Chase Sherman, $16. Fight's a little sketchy, but the winner of this fight is going to score high, so you want to have some of this fight. I think it can definitely be good for an MVP spot, whoever wins this fight. So if Sherman comes out here and knocks him out in that first round, he could possibly win the slate there. So I do like Sherman for that reason. He's the bigger guy. He has a height advantage, a reach advantage. Villanueva's coming up here from light heavyweight, although he has fought at heavyweight before, but he's going to be the smaller guy. Weight disadvantage, height disadvantage, reach disadvantage, but he will have that speed advantage on Sherman. And Sherman has been knocked out 5 times, but I just don't know if Villanueva's power is going to translate up to heavyweight. We're going to have to see, but Sherman's definitely a good play. CRU Banks, $20. I mean, not the best play in the world, but she could get multiple takedowns. She can get multiple submission attempts, which are worth a lot for MVP, 7.5. So, and I think she will dominate this fight, so I could see a way for her to end up on the optimal lineup that way. Don't know if she's going to finish the fight, but I can see her just racking up takedowns, racking up submission attempts, takedowns defended. I can see her racking up points in that way, which will definitely add up in the MVP slot. All right, high price range, $17 to $20. Like I already mentioned, Anthony Smith, $19. If you don't have him in your MVP, you can play him, like that. Ricky Simone, $17. I think there's going to be a lot of submissions defended, a lot of them. So I do think there is merit for playing Simone at $17. I think Simone can get takedowns as well. Lots of takedowns. Borg has awful takedown defense, and then maybe defend the submissions for when he's on top of Ray Borg. Um, Maybe some volume on the feet as well. So I do like Simone quite a bit. Sierra Eubanks, $20. If you don't play in an MVP spot, I think she's going to dominate. Just don't think she's going to get the finish, but I think she can rack up submission attempts, submissions defended, all those. So like Eubanks quite a bit. And then Ovain St. Preux, more of a GPP play, maybe like a shot in the dark, because I don't think he's going to knock out Ben Rothwell. I don't think he's going to submit Ben Rothwell, but it could happen. I just think he's going to have a tough time getting Rothwell down. He's going to come up into heavyweight. I think he's going to be at a size disadvantage here. And Rothwell's huge. He has a steel chin. He's probably not gonna knock out Rothwell, and I think he's gonna have a very hard time getting Rothwell down. If he does get Rothwell down, Rothwell has underrated BJJ, and I think he'll have a hard time holding Rothwell down as well. So, more of a GPP play, shot in the dark play for me. All right, mid price range, $15 to $17. Philippe Lins, $16. Probably my favorite play in this range. Already mentioned, I think he can get Arlovsky out of there early or just rack up a lot of volume over a decision. So hopefully he gets that knockout. He hits with a lot of power. He's a finisher, so I do like Lins quite a bit. Chase Sherman already went over a little bit. He can definitely get Villanueva out of there in that first or second round. I can definitely see him getting a late knockout as well whenever Villanueva gasses, because Villanueva does get tired after that first round. So Sherman has that UFC experience. He's been here before. Villanueva's going to be in his first UFC fight. The UFC first fight jitters could probably get in the way, and I think Sherman's going to take that experience, put it to use, and probably get Villanueva out of there. But going to target both sides with that. Glover at the share, $15. I think he's a little bit overpriced, but he could get an early win. If he gets a win, it's going to be an early finish. So I guess you could play him. I just having a hard time seeing that happen. He hasn't knocked anybody out in a while, and Anthony Smith has not been knocked out at 205, and Anthony Smith's BJJ is very, very, very underrated. Anthony Smith is a black belt, but Teixeira could submit him. I just don't really see it happening. Anthony Smith's too tough. I just see Anthony Smith taking over later in the fight and getting the finish. Villanueva, $15. Heavyweight fight, someone's getting knocked out. If Villanueva does it, it's probably in the first round as well, so you got to play some of them there. Alexander Hernandez, $15. I think he can get a lot of takedowns here. Don't know if there's going to be many submission attempts. Probably no submissions defended, but I think he can get takedowns, win a decision here. Not the greatest play in the world, especially on Fanduel, but just another option in the mid-price range. All right, punt range. Ben Rothwell, $14. I think if he wins, it's probably going to be my knockout. Can't see him really winning a decision. But I do think he can possibly get a knockout. OSP has been knocked out before. He's moving up to heavyweight. Rothwell is going to have a huge power advantage, huge size advantage, and I just think there is a very likely chance that Rothwell does catch him. And $14 is just insane to me. So I'm going to place a lot of Rothwell. Ray Borg, $13. Going to have a lot of submission attempts, first of all. Maybe some takedowns, maybe some submissions defended even. Just for that reason, I think he's a good play here. Don't know if he's going to win because he's going to be at a huge size disadvantage and reach disadvantage, but I do think there's merit to playing some Ray Borg at $13. That price is just a little too cheap. Carl Roberson, $14. He's better on the feet. If he gets taken down, I really worry that he's going to win this fight. Maybe he defends some submissions, very possible. On the feet, he has more power. Maybe he hurts Vettori, but Vettori's so tough, I just don't really see it happening. Robertson's a decent play at $14. He has a chance to win. I think this fight's like 50-50, so I do think you're getting value there. If he can keep this on the feet, I think he'll win. I just don't know how much he's going to score on FanDuel. Andrei Arlovsky, $14. Going to keep this short. It's a heavyweight fight. We've seen Lins knocked out before. Arlovsky hasn't had a knockout since like 2015. I just don't really see it happening. I think he's out on his way out the door in his career. 41 years old. I think this is probably one of his last fights, if it's not his last fight here. So I'll be playing maybe a little bit Arvlovsky because of that price, but I just don't see how he wins by knockout. Maybe he wins by decision. I just don't see Linz like getting tired or anything. I just see him, and Linz throws a lot of volume as well. So I just don't really like this fight for Arvlovsky at all. But like I said, it is heavyweight and anything can happen. So might have just have a little bit. All right, let's go to the fades here. Marvin Vettori, 17. He just doesn't do much, not much volume. I mean, he's a very good fighter, not much volume. He's not dangerous. Does not have I don't think he has a finish in the UFC. So just don't see how he's going to pay off that $17. Same with Hunter Azure, $18. Just don't see how he's going to pay that off. I think he's going to win. I think both these guys are probably going to win, but I just don't see how I could be playing them at this price especially. I think they're probably going to win decisions, both of them. If one of these two got a finish, it'd probably be most likely Vettori with a submission. I just don't see Azure knocking out Kelleher. I think that'd be pretty tough to do so. So that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, you can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers. Make sure you give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Also, check out my other videos, DraftKings. My betting video is coming out soon, and my prediction video is out already. So make sure you guys check out those. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't yet. Putting out a lot of content. Also, NASCAR is back this week, so I'm updating my sheet today and tomorrow. You want to check that out on Patreon. I put out a lot of good content on there. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. Got a lot of sports coming up. Sports are finally back, slowly working our way back. We got NASCAR and MMA. Hopefully we get PGA back in there soon. And then, of course, football and all those. So really looking forward to it. And yeah, if you guys are playing this week, good luck. Let's win some money.